2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This public meeting of the Lawrence City Council for the City of Lawrence, Mass. Is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted, but the public can listen and or view this meeting while in progress by use of their Facebook and YouTube web access sites referenced below. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during the portion of the hearings designated for public comment by use of the web and phone access, which is provided on the agenda. And that is the Facebook Lawrence City Council page, the YouTube Lawrence City Council page, and the Zoom address that is on the top of the agenda. So at this point, I'm going to ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Present.
Councilor Ala Devi,
Present.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Present.
Councilor Abdul,
Present.
Councilor Pagano,
Present.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Present.
Council President LaPlante,
Present.
and Councilor Giovanni, sorry.
Present. Is the new councilor in the line as well? Jorge Gonzalez.
Will you please call the roll for our newest member?
Councilor Gonzalez,
Present.
Okay, we have 9 people present. At this point, could we take a moment of silence? Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
I
allegiance
pledge allegiance to the flag of
Flag
of the United States
the
of
United
America,
States of America,
to the republic,
to the republic to which it stands,
Which is stand.
a nation,
One nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty
For liberty.
justice
Yes.
for all.
for all.
So thank you. Before we start our meeting in earnest with the minutes, I just want to welcome our newest city council member, an older face who's been on this board before and has come back to serve with us now. I wanted to welcome George or Jorge Gonzalez for stepping up and to fill in the remainder of the council president, Mayor Vasquez term. And we just welcome you, Councilor Gonzalez. Welcome back, and we look forward to your participation in our city council meeting. So welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back, George.
So with that, we have a lot of minutes to go through. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes from September 15th, October 6th, October 20th, November the 10th, November the 17th, November the 24th, December the 20th, December the 29th, and January the 5th. Is there a motion?
Motion
So
to,
move. So move.
Motion by, I think it was Councilor De La Cruz, and I believe it was seconded by Councilor Estela Reyes. Any discussion?
Yes.
Discussion. Councilor Estela Reyes, is that you?
Yes. I second the motion.
Okay, did somebody ask for discussion? No, okay, a roll call then.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
yes,
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Present.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes,
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
and Council President LaPlante.
Present. Of 9 members present. At this point, we have one item to take up at this hour, as I previously noted in emails and in conversations. And then we are going to recess after this item is complete. I'd like to entertain a motion at this point only because it's part of the process, to declare as an emergency and to take off document number 121, election of the council vice president, out of new business. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Piano. Who made the second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rodriguez. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, motion carries. At this point, we are now going to conduct the election for the City Council Vice President Pro Tem. And what I'm going to do now is ask for nominations and then a second for the nominations. Is there any nominations for the Council Vice President Pro Tem?
I'd like
I
to
do-
nominate Counselor Rodriguez.
I'd like to nominate.
A nomination, hold on for 1 second, a nomination for Mr. Payano, for Mr. Rodriguez. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and there's a second. Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Estela Reyes.
Is there,
Second.
is there a second?
I second it.
Seconded by, made by Maria, Councilor Dela Cruz and seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none. Are we prepared to vote on this, or does anybody wish to speak at this matter? Are any of the nominees wish to speak, or we can go right to a vote? Hearing none, I'm going to ask for when your name is called, please identify the individual you wish or you are selecting for vice president, and we will tally the votes at the end. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Stella Reyes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Giovanni Rodriguez.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Estela Reyes.
Councilor Pagano,
Counselor Giovanni Rodriguez.
Councilor Abdul,
Counselor Stella Reyes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Councilor Levy,
Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez.
Council President LaPlante.
Councilor Reyes. Clerk, will you please tabulate and let us know the vote,
But
please?
she didn't call my name.
We missed Councilor Estela Reyes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Estela Reyes.
Thank you very much. That's an important note there. Clerk, will you please now tabulate and let us know who has the votes?
Councilor Gonzalez,
No, please tabulate it. So is it a 6-3 vote? I just need to know who got what the number was and who got it.
sorry, I didn't get that.
We just looking for a tabulation. So, I mean, I was keeping track myself here, but we just need, how many votes did Councilor Estela Reyes get? How many votes did Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez receive?
What was the result?
Council President,
Yes.
would you like somebody else to give you the count?
Well, I think I know the count, but I just wanted the clerk to say it. So are you still with us? Clerk?
Yes, I don't have the tally. I don't have
Okay.
it.
If it's all agreed upon, I was keeping score, I was keeping a tally. I do believe it was 6 votes for Councilor Estela Reyes, and I do believe it's 3 votes for Counselor Giovanni Rodriguez. Is there's any dispute to those totals?
No.
Hearing no dispute, the vice presidency then goes to Counselor Estela Reyes. Congratulations, Vice President Estela Reyes, and thank you very much, Counselor Rodriguez, for participating and for being a part of this. We do appreciate that.
Thank you. Can I say a few words, Councilor President?
Yes, you may, Council Vice President.
Thank you. I truly appreciate the confidence you've shown in me. I am grateful for your support. Looking forward to continue working with you and for our community. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stay for the whole entitled meeting. I have a family matter that I need that needs urgent attention. But thank you all for your support.
Thank you very much, Councilor Estela Reyes, and best wishes from all of us to you on the matters that you're facing, and we appreciate that. And again, I want to thank Councilor Rodriguez for his involvement and I appreciate his willingness to serve in a different capacity, and that means a lot. At this point, I would entertain a motion to recess until 7 o'clock, when we'll entertain a motion to come out of recess. Is there a motion?
Council President, I would like to
Second.
say something.
So what we're going to do is we'll have a chance to discuss in a second. There was a motion to recess by Councilor, I believe it was Councilor Anna Levy. Who was the second? Mr. Payano. Discussion, Councilor Dela Cruz. Yes, you have the floor.
No, I just want to welcome Mr. Jorge Gonzalez. I'm very happy to work with somebody who has been very supportive of the youth in the community. Jorge, I know how many times we took the kids to Water Country, and I know how many times you had to pay for the bus. Then I would like to say thank you for serving this community, and I'm so happy to work with you one more time.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you wish to say a few words right now, Councilor Gonzalez, you may. If not, we're going to call the roll.
No, sir. I have time later, no now.
Okay, very good. Will the clerk please call the roll to recess?
Council Vice President Reyes,
I think she may have left us. Continue, please.
Councilor Rodriguez,
And
Councilor Rodriguez,
I think he may have left us as well. Continue.
noted. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, we are currently in recess, and I will reconvene and entertain a motion to come out of recess at 7 o'clock. I am simply going to take off my camera and I'm going to mute and I'm going to stay here. Thank you.
I brought headphones so that we don't have all that echoey feedback here. Which I hope that will help. Yes, I'm on.
Counselor Brunel, we can hear you.
Yay. I can see you.
I got my best tie on and everything, Counselor.
I like it. I'm gonna try to get rid of that feedback by putting in headphones.
Okay, as a reminder to everybody, we are on live right now. That's it. So we're going to come out of recess here in just a couple minutes. So just bear with us until then. The individual, well, they can't hear you. Hi, Counselor. We're live right now, as a reminder. John, I see a 401 that's in the waiting room. I'm wondering if you could see who that is and they could put their name unless it's just a phone. John, if you can hear me, we're about to go and come out of recess here in just in a matter of a moment or two. If you could please monitor the waiting room and let people in, and then I will invite them as part of public participation. Thank you, sir. And we'll do that like immediately because I think we have a quorum now and it's 7 o'clock. Are you letting everybody in, John?
What are you doing, you? What are you doing?
All right. At this point, councilors, I'm going to entertain a motion to come out of recess.
Moved.
It's too late.
Motion by, I think that was made by Mr. Abdu. Who seconded it?
Second.
What are you doing, you?
Mr. Piano. Roll call, please. At this point, councilors, I'm going to entertain a motion to come out of recess.
No, you.
Motion by, I think that was made by Mr. Abdu. Who seconded? There's feedback.
Okay, it's not just me.
No, it's a great feature though, but it's not really wanted. Clerk Ruiz, would you please do the roll call?
No.
Okay,
Can you hear
Clerk,
me?
you're unmuted. Please go right ahead with the roll call.
Councilor Levy?
Councilor Levy, okay, all city councilors, please stay unmuted. Go ahead, Councilor Levy, I've unmuted you. Try it again. Here we go.
Yes. Present.
Councilor Gonzalez?
Councilor Gonzalez, I'm unmuting you right now. Please unmute yourself and stay unmuted.
President LaPlante, if you can unmute Councilor Selena Reyes as well.
I'm here.
There we go. We got a yes from Counselor Gonzalez.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes. Noted. Councilor President LaPlante.
Yes, we are officially out of recess. I'm not sure who is with us, who does public participation, so I'm gonna go through whoever's on this line right now, and if you unmute you, and if you are part of it, go ahead, and you have 2.5 minutes to speak to the council. Do not speak to any individual councilors, but to the councilor as a whole. You have 2.5 minutes, and I think the first person, and I have no particular order here. Let's go with Mr. Molly. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Molly.
Good evening, honorable members. In this great pandemic, we are grateful for Honorable Kendry Vaz as our provisional mayor of our great city. Honorable Kendry Vaz has been loved but respected by our citizens. His devotion for service and help our citizens with us forever. We ask you in this great pandemic to help our police department, Lawrence Police Department, with the impeccable leadership of awesome leadership of Honorable Vaz, has done excellent job to protect our citizens. We need contract for our police department. In a time of the great human history and tragedy that our fellow citizens are sick and dying, we demand of you please support our great police officers and their awesome union. Contract for Lawrence police officers now. Our police department in this hard day of the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic continue the best service for our citizens. With the impeccable leadership of Honorable Chief Roy Vaz, Lawrence Police, we thank you. While danger of infection and death are everywhere, DPW workers working so hard, we need to support them. Our public school with the impeccable leadership of Honorable Superintendent Cynthia Paris moving forward, taking you every day in this pandemic, our children continue to be educated. Lawrence Teachers Union must know we support you and we are behind you 100%. We are united to pray hard for the safety and well-being of our fellow human. God protect our city and our great Commonwealth and our great nation. We are united to say contract for Lawrence Police now. We are proud of this immigrant city to rise up and support all the union, police department, firefighters, and our teachers. God bless Lawrence. We are united to be strong at all times. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Nelson Booten. Nelson, please unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nelson Buten from 17 Jefferson Street in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And I'm actually here to speak in favor of the new literacy coordinator position for the Lawrence Public Library. I think this, as a resident of the city of Lawrence, board member of the library, and also a city, public school employee, I think this position will help increase and streamline programming related to literacy for all ages, and also it will help increase capacity and support for existing programming within the Lawrence Public Library. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Library Director Jessica Villas-Novas. You're unmuted there, Ms. Novas. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I second that. Thank you, Nelson. I'm just here to fully support this very important role of literacy coordinator. It will be a part-time role as it's funded by a grant for 3 years and part-time status, but we will do everything we can to move that to a full-time status when the time is right. Like Nelson said, this is something that is definitely necessary to help us bridge the gap that currently exists because of capacity issues, for us to really have somebody that's consistently communicating between the library and the schools. So very excited about bringing this forward so that we could really enrich that partnership and reach as many students as we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is, I believe, is Ed Pear. You're unmuted. Please go right ahead.
Good evening. I'm actually here for the public hearing for AT&T.
Very good. Just unmute yourself, and when that public hearing comes up, I'll just flag me, and we'll put you back on again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Vivian Marmel on. Please unmute yourself. Ms. Marmel, do you wish to speak on public participation this evening? I'm going to try that again, Ms. Marmel. I'm unmuting you right now. If you wish to speak, just unmute yourself.
I'm all set, Councilor President LaPlante. I'm just here listening in, and I'm just looking at the meeting. I'm all set.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, and thank you for being present this evening. I don't see anyone else on the waiting room here who wishes to speak. So the public participation portion is concluded. These notes, of course, are being recorded by the city clerk and made as part of the record. Councilors, I'd like just to take a little bit of housekeeping out of order. There are some people here who may not know what's going on. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I'd like to take a motion to take document number, looking for it right now in the 12420. That's the resignation of Stephanie Infante off the table matters
So moved.
for discussion. Made by Councilor Payano. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded, I think that was by. it's hard
De La
to-
Cruz.
Thank you, by Councilor De La Cruz. Any discussion? I'll roll call vote just to take it off the table.
Council Vice President Estela Reyes. Noted. Councilor Rodriguez. Councilor Rodriguez.
I see Councilor Rodriguez is muted. Go ahead, Councilor Rodriguez.
Present.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Pagano.
Yes.
Councilor Abdul.
With us.
So it looks like Councilor Abdu is muted.
Got him. Go ahead, Councilor Abdu. He's voting and signaling a big yes. You're unmuted, by the way, Mr. Abdu. There you go. Say it again.
Yes.
Thank you.
The host would like you to unmute your microphone.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Unmute.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, thank you. So does the motion carry? I believe the motion does carry to take it out of table matters. Councilors, I just wanted to update the membership on this item. It came to my attention late today, actually, that this item, by our rules, needs to go before a committee, and that did not occur. Quite frankly, I did not want to jeopardize a vote and not going by our rules and have someone voted in and then them casting a vote on for the GLTS and then somebody challenging a vote and then and disallowing all the work that's been done. So because of that, we do need to cure or correct that oversight. And we do need to send that to a committee. I do not anticipate that there's going to be a lot of this real strong discussion at the committee level on this, because I do believe we know who the two candidates are. I believe those are the two candidates we're going to be discussing at the full council level in a joint session with members of the Lawrence Lawrence Alliance for Education, or the LAE, excuse me. And so with that, I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page and understand that what we're trying to do here is make sure we're doing it right that we're doing it correctly and properly, and we're not looking to sabotage the end result. And I think we're all in agreement on that. I did talk to Superintendent Lavoy this evening. I wanted to make sure that we get him a member in time for their next meeting, in time for their next vote. And I think it's important that we do act on that. So the way that I'm looking at it right now is we're going to send this down two steps. We're going to send this down to the Personnel Committee. I'm hopeful that the Personnel Committee can take this on next Monday, which I believe is the 25th of January. Because of the nuance of a joint session, it is complicated to have it done when we're already in the middle of a other city council business. So it's cleaner if we have just a special meeting, a joint session meeting, just with the other body and ourselves. It's just a cleaner way of doing it. And I'm trying to, and I'm sure you can understand, trying to get a full membership at the GLTS for their vote on their vote on the 2nd. So what I'm looking to do is looking to send this to the Personnel Committee on Monday, giving us enough time for that 48-hour time period for posting. I'm going to order a special meeting on Thursday so that we have the time to go ahead and join and have that time. And then that person will be sworn in shortly thereafter and can participate in the very next GLTS meeting on the 2nd. So I just wanted to have that discussion to make sure we're on the same page. We're all, I think, going to the same goal. And as soon as we can get that body functioning, I think we're all going to be in a good spot. Are there any questions regarding the strategy on this? I see Mr. Payano's hand. I then see Mr. Rodriguez in that order.
Thank you, Council President. I mean, I do have some concerns, and I guess my concerns are in that, for the last 7 months, we've been sort of, dealing with this process. If you tell me that, whoever said that it has to go to a committee, I mean, I guess, it is what it is. I would have thought, since this was voted to be put onto table, that at some point or another that there was a vote to take it out of essentially a committee or something. But regardless of that, my big concern, whether it's the meeting is a week from now or 2 weeks from now, is that we spent a lot of time trying to ensure that the members of the board were going to be here today. To that point that I know that Councilor Maria La Cruz and myself have been talking about this for a while, that we needed to have a vote on this, and I've definitely have sent emails out to the board asking them, and in some of the committee meetings where we've seen the school department, we've said, like, hey, there's going to be a vote on this. So what efforts are going to be made to ensure that we have a good number of the LAE board there at this special meeting?
And I appreciate the question, Counselor. I have been in contact with the acting chairman, Dr. Ventura Rodriguez, who is the acting chair of the Lawrence Alliance for Education, or the LAE. We have been in very good communication and contact. He understands where he is. They were prepared to come tonight, but they do understand that what we don't want to do collectively is set us up for failure and have some sort of administrative snafu take place that would delegitimize the vote and the process that we're about to engage in. So I believe they understand that. And what I'm going to do at my earliest opportunity, he has made himself available and try to make his membership. So I know that they are well aware and they do want to be involved. Well, I'm not sure they will be involved in this, and I will let them know after probably the first thing tomorrow that we're looking to schedule a meeting. If for some reason that does not take place, we're not able to do it on Thursday, and it's my hope that it is. We can certainly try to schedule it for the following Tuesday. But again, keep in mind, we're trying to get people to vote. at that GLTS meeting on the 2nd, and our city council meeting and their meeting are on the exact same day. So I'm hopeful that we can get a quorum from them a week from Thursday.
Okay, well, thank you for the work that you will be doing on that part, Council President. I think it's important. While I don't expect everybody to attend a meeting, I know that sometimes that's difficult, especially I'm sure they're busy individuals. A week notice might be a lot for their schedule. But if you could please express our apologies, since they were expecting to be at this meeting. And our thanks, and also that we hope to appoint an individual to a committee that's been waiting for 6 or 7 months for representation. So I'm really hoping that whether it's Thursday or Tuesday, that they'll be able to come together. It'd be great if we can get someone before that next meeting, but I think all of us that do this type of work, there's a lot of work that happens outside of the meetings as well. So like my main concern is ensuring that as much of our body and as much as their body is able to attend, so that way anyone that looks at it can say like, oh, that was a fair process. Thank you.
You're welcome, and I appreciate those comments. Next is Councilor Rodriguez, followed by Councilor De La Cruz. Councilor Rodriguez.
Yes, through you, Mr. President. Essentially, you already have made the decision of sending it over to the personnel committee. And I was wondering, before you make that decision, if we were able to suspend the rule as we have done it for other suspend our rules for as we have done it for other matters that are less important to this, since we already have it in the fair interview what's going to be done at the full council. So that was when you made the determination of changing the process of and send it over to the personnel committee, because I'm assuming that everybody was aware that the LAE board was supposed to be here today.
So I'm not sure. So is your question about the suspension of the rules?
Did you actually, I clarify my questions. Did you actually take the opportunity to analyze the possibility of suspending the rules, the city council rules, and not send it to a committee as we have done it for other matters?
Thank you. And in fact, I did. I gave it some serious consideration. We have 6 different professionals that make up the LAE, and we typically suspend the rules for things that are a little more mundane. For a handicap parking placard, we suspend the rules for that. We typically don't suspend the rules for larger things, and not knowing how this body was going to rule on that. First of all, we needed to make sure that it was sent down to a committee. Yes, to suspend the rules, but the decision was made that in the abundance of caution, and knowing two, that by going this process, we are not at all jeopardizing the GLTS by any stretch, because their next meeting is on the 2nd, that there was no harm, frankly, in doing this way, especially when there's no guarantee that the vote was going to pass. So I do know that we can probably send this to a committee, and my sense is that we probably could have a meeting on Thursday, at least that's my hope, and then we can have a vibrant discussion by all members, and I think we'll have a quorum on both sides. And so the answer to your question directly is yes. A lot of consideration was provided for that.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, just one quick question.
Yes, Mr. Payano.
I just want to be clear. Is your expectation that is your expectation is the personnel committee will receive this and just immediately forward it, or do you expect the personnel committee to do more deliberation on those individuals?
Thank you very much. Of course, I can't control the personnel. There's 4 members there. My expectation is what you're asking me. My expectation is that this will simply be a pro forma. This will just be a part of the process. We are going to debate and have a discussion, an ample discussion when this comes before the full council. So I just think it's a matter of checking off the box of going to the committee. The committee, I suspect and expect, will just send this on up. I don't expect much discussion, if any, at that level. Although again, I can't control if a member wishes to speak on that, or there's no, as you know, I can't control that.
Okay, thank you, Council President. I believe Council De La Cruz, I see a little hand
Yeah,
raised.
no, she's definitely next. And Council De La Cruz, my apologies. I should have gone right to you. You've got the floor.
Council President, number one, I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules and the 30 days due to the fact that we need to have an answer as soon as possible. We, as the body of the City Council, we have the power to suspend the rules and to make a decision tonight. We cannot wait. We cannot let the vocational school to wait because they have to make decision. We have to understand that the schools are going through a lot of difficult moments and we have to be supportive of them. Then I believe that tonight we can make a decision. And if I have somebody to second my motion to suspend the rules and the 30 days.
Second.
The motion is out of order for the following reason.
I couldn't.
We need to make a joint session. We cannot do this unilaterally. We need by the memos that were provided to us by the city attorney and by the Greater Lawrence Technical Schools Charter. It talks about specifically how a decision is going to be made. So we need and are requiring there to be a joint session. So even if hypothetically we were to vote on this tonight, we would not be able to advance this any further. We need to have a joint session. So I hope you can understand that the motion is not in order because of the requirement for the joint session. Is there anybody? Go ahead, Councilor De La Cruz. I'll give you back the floor. Go ahead.
Yes. The thing is that Mr. Payano and Mr. Rodriguez, I think we are right on making a decision as soon as possible. And we have done it before. Whoever become that person, we have to let the greater vocational school to decide how they're going to work with that person, because whoever gets in there, they will have to learn the rules and the petition that the vocational school has. Then I believe that we can make that vote tonight.
Councilor De La Cruz, I couldn't agree with you more. I honestly wish that we could have had this vote this evening. But unfortunately, the rules are such that we cannot elect anybody without there's being a joint session. We need to have that other body present to be able to have that meeting. Even if we were to take a vote, we could not advance this any further. So I hope you can understand. We have the city clerk. I don't have in front of me, and if the clerk has the language, if they could pull that up, that would be greatly helpful, because what I don't want there is to thinking that we're just willy-nilly doing this, that there is some context and a basis for this decision. Does the city clerk have that? If not, what we could do is I could table, if we don't have it now, I'll table this, or we're gonna ask it to be tabled and I can come back to it. Does the city clerk have this?
Parliamentary question.
Sure.
Is that memo available for the benefit of the process for us to read? Because I haven't read the memo. I mean, any of the councilor have?
I believe that we all have it, Councilor. I believe that was given to us by email. I believe all of us have two things. We have a memo from the city attorney. We also
For the joint section you're talking about?
I'm sorry, joint
The
session.
memo is for the joint section. Yes,
Yeah.
I have that information.
It's all inside that joint session document.
Okay, and okay.
So but I'm happy to engage, but I don't think we can move the ball forward. Mr. De La Cruz, are you done with your questions? Because I'm going to recognize Mr. Payano when you're completed.
Well, you're leaving me with no words. When you mean that the two parties, which one is the other party? Which one are the two?
That's an excellent question. Thank you, and I'll answer that question. The next parcel is, in this case, the Lawrence Education the Lawrence Alliance for Education, otherwise known as the LAE. They are standing in the foot of the school committee, and they are the organization that must be with us to make a vote. Councilor Brunel, I see that you're back with us. Were you able to find that document? And I'm going to unmute you so you can speak. Try it again. Hold on. Go ahead. And we lost Councilor Brunel.
She might be frozen.
I think she is frozen. Oh, try it again.
It's back. She's back. You have to mute her.
I am. I'm trying. There we go. Go ahead, Councilor Brunel.
Council President, just to clarify, you referencing the language, and I'm not sure which the language in the city attorney's opinion letter, or?
The language that is controlling is the language in the actual charter of the Greater Lawrence Technical School. I believe, I don't have it in front of me, I want to say it's either page 8 or section D, where it talks about when a Lawrence School Committee member has a vacancy, what is the process by which another Lawrence person is replaced. And I think it's either 8 or D, and I don't have it here. So
Okay,
we'll get that. Second part. It's the second part of the city attorney's memo. Her memo was first. It came with certain attachments, and that's the first attachment. In the meantime, is that that you can find that quickly? Do you think, Brunel?
I think so. I have her memo and I have the attachment, so I believe it would be here.
It will.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're looking for. So you're looking for.
Look for the section that's in replacement or vacancies. It's near the beginning of the document.
Interim committee composition, elected members vacancies.
Council President, I mean, I have what you're looking for in front of me. Do you?
If the clerk has it, I would prefer that she read it, but if not, I certainly will go back to Mr. Payano. I'm glad that you have it. That's great backup. Clerk Brunel, what page is it on, Council Payano?
Section D, page 2.
Yeah, so it says, go ahead and read that, especially the Lawrence section is what the pertinent part, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. So it says vacancies. If a vacancy occurs in the interim committee described in subsection IB, such position shall be filled in the same manner as the original appointment. If a vacancy occurs among the elected members, the selectmen and the local school committee members from the member town concerning acting jointly shall appoint a member to serve until the next annual town election, at which annual election a successor shall be elected for the balance of the unexpired term, if any. In the case of a vacancy occurring among the members representing the city of Lawrence, a majority of the members of the city council and the school committee of the city of Lawrence, acting jointly, shall appoint a member to serve until the next city election, at which election a successor shall be elected to serve the balance of the unexpired term, if any.
Thank you very much, Councilor Brunel. And that just reiterates the point that the chair was making, which is it needs to be a joint session. I don't know how much more discussion we could have on this, but are you done, Ms. Dela Cruz? I'm going to see Mr. Payano and then Mr. Rodriguez. And then I just want to move. We have other things we can do tonight. Ms. Dela Cruz, do you really push the floor?
I still believe that we can suspend the rule.
Got it. Mr. Payano?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Council President, and thank you, Councilor De La Cruz, for bringing that up. I think I have a little bit more clarity on sort of on everything. It sounds like we don't have the LAE board here with us tonight, which is unfortunate because we need them to have a vote. Council President, from what we just read right now, it sounds like it's a joint meeting. I do not understand why we would need to, I don't see, initially what I thought what you were telling us was that, the city attorney had told you that it had to go through personnel or had to go through a committee, that was like, that process was delineated somewhere. What we're hearing right now is that process, nowhere does it say that it has to go to personnel. So if we would have if the LAE board was here and we would have followed Councilor De La Cruz's motion, then we would have been able to have this meeting. Since the LAE board isn't here, we can't engage, we can't have a vote. I mean, I guess at this point, it's just sort of, it is what it is. And let's hope that we can get the membership of the LAE board. But I stand with you, Councilor De La Cruz. I think that we would have been able to have a vote today. And I definitely, if that motion was in order, I would have been in support of it. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor Rodriguez. And then we're going to just move off this discussion, I believe. Councilor Rodriguez.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Just for the record, I would like to line this up. The LAE board was going to be here tonight until somebody call and say that it was not going to happen. The meeting was going to happen tonight. So they were on board until probably 5 o'clock this afternoon. They were going to be here tonight to discuss this item, just for the record, because it's not fair that we're saying, oh, just because they're not here, we're not going to be able to do anything. But yes, they were on board until somebody made a determination of not having this discussion tonight. I don't know who called them. I'm assuming that it was you, Council President. If it was somebody else, it was not supposed to. But for the fair of the process, the LAE board was aligned to be here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Russell.
Is that correct?
The answer is absolutely yes. They were aligned. And if you want me to go further, and I do want to move on this, but you make a good point. And what I don't want to do is what I want to do is make sure that the chair's position is understandable based on the information that was provided late. And that in the matter of fairness and equity and making sure that the chair cannot essentially know for certain that the vote was going to be unanimous or enough votes, that would have been a bit of a stretch to doing that. I have talked to Dr. Rodriguez. They were going to be here this evening. I received, I can't tell you 100% that they'll be here on Thursday, but I do believe they're going to make every effort possible to be here on Thursday, have a quorum here. Again, I can't promise you that, but that's my expectation. And I just hope that that this was a matter that that developed late, and I didn't want to risk this city council and our reputation and our work. I did not want to risk the members who are applying for this position. And I did not want to presume certain votes were going to go in a certain direction and then place 4 or 5 or 6 other people here with us having a discussion that, oh, the vote to suspend the rules didn't pass this evening, so I guess we can't do it. Number one, and then number two, to repeat, in talking with Mr. Lavoie, we do have a little bit of time before that next meeting. So nothing was lost. Nothing, I'll repeat, nothing was lost by going ahead and to allow us to do it the right way. Send it to the committee as is required by our procedures and our rules. We're just following our rules. And then we will have that and then have that discussion. So I'm appreciative of everybody. I'm with everybody. I really wish we could have had this thing tonight, put this thing to bed and go for it. But the position that sometimes the chair finds themselves in is making sure that they can't necessarily prognosticate how members are going to vote and didn't want to jeopardize a particular vote and took the safest course of action to make sure that hopefully that there's somebody there to take the vote on the second without any further delays. I'm 100% with everybody on this. So I'm sorry, it's a tough decision to make sometimes, but unfortunately that's the position that I'm in. And I hope that you can understand the rationale.
President, one question.
The person who hasn't spoken yet is Anna Levy. And then, yes, I will go back to Maria De La Cruz. And Councilor, I just hope we can move on this soon because we do have other matters. Councilor Anna Levy, who has not spoken yet. Go ahead, Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just only one question, because we have brought this item a couple of times over the table. We have been discussing already, but never ever nobody having said that we have to send this to the to another committee before we make any decision. So how come that this coming tonight when everybody was expecting that we're gonna cut the balls on this regard?
So thank you very much, Councilor.
That's my question.
No, I will. If the city clerk can help me with this, I am trying to go through here and find the rule where it says in our own rules that every item must go before the committee. And this was an item and it needs to go before a committee.
We don't suspend the rule, yes.
And it's established. Any rule can be suspended and there's no arguing that. And I'm not going to interject any more interjections. So I will find that, Councilor Levy. And in the meantime, Councilor Maria De La Cruz wishes to speak.
Yeah, Council President, I have a question. Were the other board notified that they were supposed to be on tonight?
Yes, we were all set to go
Then
this
we have
evening.
no excuses for people who are not coming to our meetings. Then it's not up to them. It's up to us to decide.
They were on board, they were coming.
Councilor Rodriguez, you're out of order. Please let Councilor De La Cruz have the floor. She was patient.
They were
You had the floor.
supposed to be present tonight. Why? What is the excuse that they have for not being here tonight? If they receive information and invitation about this meeting tonight.
Councilor De La Cruz, thank you very much. And apparently there's, oh man, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just got a connection that's unstable. This will not end well. The decision by the chair in trying to honor the ultimate goal, which is to get somebody on the GLTS in time for their next meeting. That's the goal. And so, yes, the chair did speak to the chair of the LAE, letting them know exactly what we were facing. And so it was a conversation, frankly, and saying, here's what we're facing. I don't know how the council is going to vote tonight if we decide to suspend the rules. The superintendent of the GLTS says he doesn't need one today or tomorrow. He can wait 2 weeks or till the 2nd. The question is can we work with you? Will you work with us? His response is absolutely, Councilor LaPlante. We'll do what we can to be present at the next meeting. Just let me know where and when, and we'll try to be there for that. The lines of communication are open. I feel very good about that. If you're looking for me to make a promise and assurance, I can't do that. I can't make promises for other people, but I feel confident and good that we can get people to show up for a special meeting next week if we can all agree to be there ourselves.
Well, I'm still not convinced. I still believe that we can make the changes.
Okay, we really need to move on. I am hearing and I understand both the complexities and the frustrations. Please understand that I'm hearing that loud and clear. I do understand the second guessing and saying you should have done X, Y, and Z. I'm hearing that loud and clear. Trust me, I'm hearing that loud and clear. I'm also asking you to understand that sometimes when things are happening in real time and quickly, to try to protect our body and our interests and trying to do the right thing, sometimes decisions have to be made. And I can only hope that you understand why these decisions are made in the way that they are. They're in for the best of, not only the best of intentions, but to try to make sure we do the right thing in accordance with our rules.
2 more meetings before the 2nd of February.
So what I'm looking to do is a couple of things, and thank you. And maybe we'll conclude on this. I think everybody's made their point known. I'll conclude on this. 2 things. One, we're looking to have a personnel meeting on Monday. I don't expect there to be a lot of discussion or debate on this. I can't control that. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but I don't expect to be. I do look and anticipate for us to have a special meeting on next Thursday, a week from Thursday. I'm going to talk to Dr. Rodriguez tomorrow. I'm going to make sure and see if, try to get a commitment from him, poll his members to make sure they can do it. If I get a yes from him, we're going to have that meeting. And by golly, if we can, we're going to make sure that there's somebody from Lawrence representing as an additional member on the GLTS on February 2nd. With that, I'm sending this.
Parliamentary question?
Yes, point of parliamentary degree, Mr. Rodriguez.
I just want to make sure that we're clear that they were on board and they were going to come today to the meeting, and somebody, the council president LaPlante, hold them up because of a process that we didn't follow, but they were on board to be here tonight and they were going to be here. Is that correct? Am I wrong or right?
Mr. Rodriguez, you have, and with all respect, sir, you've made that point known, and I've said yes several times to that.
Okay.
And I understand the doubts, and I understand the second seating. We do need to move on. Hope you can appreciate the decision, and trust me, we're all on the same page on this. This motion, this item is now going.
Still waiting for the answers regarding my question.
Oh, yeah, can the clerk help me? Gosh, she's muted. Please don't unmute yours. Please unmute. So, Councilor Brunel.
So Council President, you have a rule number 6 in your rules, which establishes the committees. And then it says, all business shall be referred for study and recommendation before action is taken by the city council. The president of the city council shall appoint the members of the standing committees. And then it specifically does state in subsection 3 of that, there's the Committee on Personnel and Administration, to which shall be referred all personnel measures within the purview of the city council, and all measures, the effect of which would be to alter the administrative structure of city government. So a school committee member would be affecting the structure of city government. So your rule 6 does require all documents to go to subcommittee, and the committee it should go to, based on what's stated here in subsection 3, is the personnel committee.
Thank you very much. So the ruling, the chair has spoken, and based on that, based on those rules, this item is now going before the Personnel Committee. And Mr. Abdu, as the chair of the Personnel, will you be able to meet? Let me ask you that question on Monday, the 25th.
Mr. President, if you'd allow me to, ask the members of the committee, I am available. I can be available Monday night.
You can or you can't?
I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, then I'm willing to meet.
The other members, the members will have had spoken to, have known about a change in some of the committee's assignments. On the Personnel Committee, Councilor Estela Reyes is now on there serving on that. And she knows that the people, and I'm going to be putting this out in an email, and the other person that's going to be on there is also Councilor Jorge Gonzalez. And Councilor Gonzalez, will you be able to make the meeting on Monday, the 25th?
Yes.
Very good. You do have a quorum, Council Chairman, Personnel Chairman. So that's good. Okay, so the matter's been sent down to the Personnel Committee. The next item.
Motion to take item 221 out of order.
There's a motion to take document 221 communications out of order. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Pavel Payano. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Serena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes, noted. Councilor President Mark LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. This is a city clerk hiring update by Personnel Director Frank Bonet. Let me see if I can find you, Mr. Bonet. Are you with us? I see you, Mr. Bonet. Hold on for 1 second. Give me a second. Try to unmute now, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. All right, thank you for having me here. So I was asked to be here for a meeting. Not quite sure what the questions are, but if you want, I can begin with a briefing of where we're at with the city clerk's position and what the personnel department has been recently doing. Job posting was approved and signed by then Council President Kendris Vasquez, I think a couple of days right before he was sworn in as acting mayor. And we advertised that position on the City of Lawrence website. We sent it out throughout the thousands of employee emails that we have both on the school department and on the city side, as well as the Lawrence Police Department. We sent it out to MMA.org for posting on their site. And we've also advertised that position on Indeed.com. With the departure of both City Clerk Maloney and then, or now, or I guess then, because he left Friday, acting City Clerk Richard Reyes, that kind of put some pressure on our department as well as the council to move forward in a little bit faster manner in selecting the next city clerk. And so there's been some discussions with the mayor and the council president about some movements internally in the office of the city clerk and in elections to place some individuals in acting statuses. Those have not come to a completion as of today, but at least we have an acting, by verbal command, acting city clerk, and that's Damaris Ruiz. Tomorrow I have to type a memorandum. I'm on vacation until the 29th, but I am coming into the office here and there to do some work. So tomorrow I will be in the office to type a memorandum so that either the mayor or the council president can sign it and send it down to the city clerk's office. As you know, under the ordinances of the city of Lawrence, anyone in acting capacity, a memorandum must be typed and signed by the appointing authority and sent down to the city clerk, stating who's going to be in acting capacity and swearing that this individual is experienced and has the education experience to become acting status while we search for one. So we haven't done that. The other conversations have been to, as a suggestion from my office to the mayors and the council president, has been to take one of the individuals in the elections department and make that person an acting assistant city clerk, and then take one of the other individuals from the city clerk's office and make her the acting assistant city clerk as well. As you know, there's 2 assistant city clerks, one downstairs in the elections department, one upstairs in the city clerk. And then while we choose, or while the council chooses a city clerk, remain with those positions in acting status. And once you select a city clerk, then we can get Damaris, if she hasn't applied and she's not being considered, then we can have her go back, return back to her position of assistant city clerk, and have the person in that position go back to a position of senior clerk. With all that said, there's 3 memorandums that got to go down and be filed to city clerks, and we'll do that tomorrow. Hopefully I can get a final answer from the mayor on the other 2 individuals. As you know, the city clerk position is appointed by the city council and the assistant city clerks. However, anything in acting status or any of the senior clerks movement, I think has to have some coordination with the mayor's office. With that said, as of this morning, when I went into my office to check up on some emails and logged into Indeed, we found that the city of Lawrence has received 169 applicants for the city clerk position since it was last posted a couple of weeks ago. Most of those positions, or most of those applicants, are coming from Indeed.com. We've had just a minor few through the city's website, and I've been reviewing on a daily basis, well, not on a daily basis, but I've been reviewing here and there on occasion those applicants because as I had a premonition, not even a premonition, I just by experience, I knew that as soon as we posted the city clerk position, we were going to get a lot of applicants who thought that the city clerk's position was a clerk administrative position. And that has been the case. Out of the 169 people that have applied for the position of city clerk, only 12, in my opinion, 12, based on experience, can be a serious, can be an applicant for serious review or serious consideration for review. The others are individuals who don't have the experience of running a department of that nature or as a department head at all. However, a lot of applicants do have an educational requirement, although the job posting doesn't call for the educational requirement. I'm looking to send the council applicants that are, diving in the rough or superstars. I don't think that we need a warm body for a city clerk at this moment. And as seeing that all these vacancies are going on, we also need someone who may hit the floor running, knowing about the city clerk, municipal government, elections, or all three. So with that, I have not reached the conclusion of what I wanted to send to council. However, it is written in the administrative code section 4, paragraph 6.1 through 12 on how the process should go. It's usually identifying the top 5 most qualified individuals and anyone tied with that 5th place to be sent down to council or to the appointing authority, in this point being the city council. And then the city council either interviewing or selecting, but not doing both at the same time. You can't interview 2 individuals from the top 5 and select. You can either interview all 5 or don't interview anyone, but in both instances, select a candidate or not select a candidate. So my recommendation to you would be that I can send you tomorrow, after I have redacted personal information on these applicants, such as addresses, telephone numbers, and emails, to send it down to each of you through email on PDF, and maybe to the personnel committee, make a recommendation to send to the personnel committee for at least reviewing the applicants, not interviewing, but reviewing the applications to see if the personnel committee deems anyone in that group to be interviewed, or if they wish to continue receiving applications and then going through the process of reviewing whatever comes in after. To tell you the truth, I mean, the 12 that I reviewed are not, for me, there weren't anything special that I saw except for one applicant. He's from the Midwest. He had a lot of election experience, but it was not municipal election. He worked with some sort of, as a contractor for election and election machines, and election rules, and as a consultant. Other than that, some other individuals who may have held departmental positions and know how to lead, maybe guide, train, and can pick up some of the city clerk with some really key guidance from Damaris. I hear Damaris knows her stuff and knows her well. So with that, I am open to more suggestions or for guidance or questions.
So thank you very much, Mr. Bonet. This is actually an opportunity for us to hear from you regarding a hiring update, which we just received. Mr. Payano, this is a little out of order, but Mr. Payano, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's out of order. I can't ask questions.
That's why I'm going to you. Just go ahead. This is supposed to be an opportunity for him, Mr. Bonet, to give his thing, which he did. But go ahead. I'm not saying you're out of order because I'm giving you the floor. So you got the floor.
Okay. Well, a little out of order threw me off, but I appreciate that, Council President. Director Bonet, thank you so much for sort of giving us this information. Just a question for you. I know that you're asking us to give you more input as to the process. It sounds like you might be giving the council 5 names and essentially asking us to whether we want to interview or keep sort of continuing the search process. And my question for you that I think might help myself, but definitely my colleagues perhaps, is what are the likelihoods that us continuing, right, whether it's for a week, a few weeks, might get us more qualified applicants? Is there something that you would be doing that's new? If you can give us some more details on that, I'd appreciate it.
So we can continue receiving applications, but as I said, the title of this position is so confusing to the normal applicant out there that has no idea what a city clerk is, that we continue receiving individuals who think this is like a principal account clerk or senior clerk or administrative assistant or some sort of administrative role. However, what I can do that I did not get an opportunity to do because there is a spending freeze is place an ad on one of the professional sites, either in Massachusetts or throughout the nation, that has to do with municipal, town clerks or city clerks or something like that, that can maybe, push it into more individuals who have that type of line of work. Other than that, I can send you all 169 applications, but I don't want to do that for you. I think under the ordinances, to the personnel committee, so that way they can pick the top 5, but it would take you long, and plus by next week, we'll probably have 250. Just basically the job posting is posted until filled. So if you have no one in this group of people that the personnel committee reviews that deem worthy to bring in, you could continue receiving, and then we can recertify the new applicants coming in, and we can do it again. We can send the applications down and say, okay, let's review the next set of qualified individuals that came from the second set of personnel, and then you can say yes or no and continue.
Follow up, Director Bonet. So, what would be the cost of putting ads out or sending this to some of the professional, not just magazines, the professional networks that are out there?
Yeah, so right now we've done a lot of free ads. So of course, when we send it out through our employees, we ask them to share with their family and friends and their networks. When we do the Indeed.com, it is free for us unless we ask for them to review and select candidates for us, which we have never done. So it's free. The MMA is at a reduced cost because we are a member, so we have to pay for that. It's about $150 or so. It goes both on their website and to magazines that they usually have. But
did we do that?
Yes, we did the MMA, correct. But and plus we also do the Commonwealth's Valley Works Career Center, where it goes into the state and nationwide job bank, if you will, that they go ahead and search, or anyone can search, including veterans. What I don't know off the top of my head is which professional sites are out there that are accepting jobs application or job posts, because not all of them accept job postings, and how much that would cost. But I can send that down on an email tomorrow. I can just, it won't take me that long to find out.
Okay. So, thank you, Dr. Bonet. So, it sounds like from what I'm hearing is that, there might be a potential, if there's money to allocate, that there might be some websites.
Right, I have to request that money from the memo. The memo that came in yesterday, or the last week, stated that any expenditures would have to be approved by the mayor.
Right. So if Mayor Vasquez agrees, there might be some potential to using the other sites to try to get more interest, but it doesn't sound like that's like
impactful.
Yeah.
No,
so
probably get one or two.
So it sounds like I'm hoping that the 5 people that you end up sending to the city council are a little bit.
Well, I can send all 12 if that's okay. To the personnel, and let them pick the top 5.
So I wouldn't be able to answer that, but I personally like the idea of less than more, because I think that's my own personal opinion. I think my colleagues probably might differ, or I don't know. But I appreciate sort of the information that you're giving, and I think one of the important parts is that I hope that the 5 that you end up sending are individuals that, maybe they're not individuals exactly what we're looking for. Maybe they can grow into the position or something. Maybe that's something that we're looking for. If not, it looks like we can keep on searching, but it doesn't sound like, at least at the moment, is something that very impactful mechanism to try to get individuals to be interested in this position, which I guess the next question will be, after that, if we decide to go that route, is what else can we do? But thank you very much.
Welcome.
Any other questions for the personnel director before this item is completed? Hearing none, thank you very much, Mr. Bonet. I just want to call the membership's attention that I did put an item on the city council agenda that I will be referring to the personnel committee. It is the selection process. I think the best course of action, thank you, Mr. Bonet, stick around for 1 second. So you did us a tremendous courtesy of from 169, dwindling it down to 12. And if there's no objection, what I think the best course of action, listening to that conversation there with Mr. Payano, is just to give to the personnel committee those 12 and let them start the work. And it's not going to be done in one night. It's going to be stretched into possibly multiple nights, right? But they're going to work at the speed that they're going to work in, based on commitments, timing, etc., names coming back, callbacks from applicants, whatever. So this is why we have a personnel committee to do this kind of stuff. So I think your point's well taken, Mr. Bonet. If you could do the redaction of those documents so that it becomes a public record, I believe, once it's submitted. So
right, once it goes to city clerk, it becomes public.
Don't want to have private information out in the public domain. So that would be great. So have you on the personnel committee, you've got the capacity to at least begin this process on Monday?
Yes.
Mr. Abdu?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. All right, and then I'm going to later on I'll refer that committee to the other committee assignments.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. Oh, wait, yes, Miss. Absolutely, Miss Levy, you got the floor. Yes.
Thank you,
Ms.
Mr.
Levy.
President. It's just
Go
only
ahead.
one question. There is Mr. Bonet, thank you for all of the information. Is there a forms that also we've been sending regarding that they can measure and see, give us some points for?
So that's what I've been debating on doing, because I don't want to use the word waste of time, because it's never waste of time reviewing applications or applicants, because you get to find someone who may not qualify for that job, but is really well-rounded for something else. And, you could maybe guide and push that person to apply for something else. However, from 169 people, like we're supposed, the job of the personnel director is to certify all the applicants, but certify the top 5. And when I send it down to council, the 12, they'll have a certification, or 5 or whatever. They'll have a certification, an Excel spreadsheet, the same way we did the city clerk, where it states, they give you points for education, points for experience, points for being a veteran. If the position calls for bilingual, we'll add bilingual to it and so forth. And it'll tell you more or less just by paperwork, who is high score to low score. But the council or the personnel committee can select anybody from those individuals. It doesn't have to be the top scorer, because the top scorer never is a good fit. It's all, not never, but for the most part, could be not a good fit. You can have a good fit on the person who comes out with 5th score. But I can do that as well, so that way you can see through paperwork. But you'll get to match that application with that Excel spreadsheet that has a score.
Thank you.
Just so we can stay on ordinance and keep it legal.
We're good. Okay, I do see Mr. Payano's hand. Mr. Payano.
Thank you, Council President. I'm just trying to clearly understand the process, Council President. Are you essentially saying that the Personnel Committee will, what it sounded like Director Bonet stated was that he would send to the Personnel Committee these 5 names that, because he certifies 5 names. So he would send these 5 names. Personnel committee would review these individuals, and they would make the choice of either 1, proceeding to interview all those 5 people, or 2, making a choice of continuing on with the search process. Having not seen like the resumes, I at the moment, I can't give, I wouldn't be able to give anybody an opinion about whether we should move on or not. I have my own personal thoughts on it, but like, I haven't seen those resumes. So it sounded like there was a sort of this initial choice that would be first made, and then the personnel committee would interview those 5 individuals, because they can't choose out of the 5. It doesn't sound like they can say like, we'll only interview 3 of them. Now, if the personnel committee gets 12 names, they're going to have to choose to interview all 12, or and that's what I'm hearing, and maybe Director Bonet can tell us differently. They will then take all 12, and I guess they can still make sort of that decision about whether or not to continue on the search or to do those 12 interviews. From what I'm hearing from Director Bonet, it doesn't sound like all 12 of those individuals are essentially individuals that are a very great fit for the position. And having not seen them, right? Like, but I'm just basing it off of Director Bonet's experience and the trust that we have on the work that he does. I would hate for the personnel committee to have 6 interviews with individuals that clearly, by looking at the resume, we would see that they weren't qualified to take on a position like this. It sounds like the 5 that are going to be sent are individuals that have experience directing departments, may not have all the experience directing a city clerk's position, but have enough that he can confidently say that more likely than not, they would be able to fill in the role. So I just would like some clarity on that, and maybe some, if it is to send the 12 people, a better understanding on how that, why go that route?
So the 12 people would be for the personnel committee and the personnel director to certify those 12 and come out with the top 5. Or I can certify 5 from my office and send it down. What I'm trying to do is try to give the personnel committee more options of having to review 12, or by tomorrow we might get 13, somebody who has, submitted really good a resume. So the personnel committee could, with myself, the order says it has to be the personnel director, but the personnel committee, myself, can certify the top 5 candidates and anyone who is tied for 5th place. And the reason I say that is because the qualifications for the city clerk jobs are so minuscule. I mean, it doesn't really call for too much except some experience that you may have a tie with that has 10 people. You never know. As one of the other things that you forgot to say is that you also can select someone through promotion. So you don't have to interview anyone. Let's say that Ms. Ruiz applies and you're happy with her and you want to select her under 6.5 of the administrative code recruitment, you can select through promotion and not interview anyone. Say, we're just going to promote her.
Director Bonet, I'm sorry to interrupt the follow-up. You've said this twice, that the qualifications for a city clerk is not that large. Like we've met several times to create that job description. It sounded like there was a lot to it. Am I missing something?
I mean, from my point, not from your point. I didn't
Okay.
mean to minimize a position. What I'm saying is that I'm looking for a superstar. I'm looking for someone that can really help this office take it to the next level and really do a good job for you that we don't, that this whole entire process hasn't been in vain. You know what I'm saying? It's not for nothing that we selected someone and we don't have to do it again. Someone is not let go after 6 months of probationary period because it's not working out or something like that. I really want to get it done right the first time for the council.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bonet. I do have, I'm going to put our personnel committee chairman on the spot. Mr. Abdi, are you still with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Part of the calculus, it seems to me, is capacity. What is your preference and what is your capacity? You just heard what Mr. Bonet said about 12 and then certification and then working jointly. What I don't have a good handle on is the committee's capacity to follow up or follow through on what the personnel director just options that he just suggested.
So it would obviously take a few, at least 2 meetings, probably 3 or 4. I would think that if speaking just as one member, I would think we would have the capacity to do it. It would involve some time for the members, and I certainly would want to partner with Mr. Bonet. I would reach out to him tomorrow if this were to go forth tonight. And I defer to other members, but I believe we do have the capacity.
Okay. And again, this is a bunch of, there's 9 of us, right? So we're all trying to get to the best spot, which is to get the best person possible. And that's, I don't want to lose sight of our goal here. So would it be, what's the best thing? Would it be best for Mr. Bonet to send all 12? Would it be best for him to certify? Would it be best to have him cull it down to 5? What do you think would be best for the committee?
I mean, in my humble opinion, I certainly believe that Mr. Bonet and his quality personal individuals, I would be fine with, again, as an individual member, I would be fine with 5 or 5 plus a tiebreaker coming down to the personnel committee. But I'm here to serve. If it's 12, we'll figure that out.
Okay. That's fine. Unless anybody else wants to chime in, I do see that Councilor Dela Cruz doesn't want to ask a question or make a comment. So let's go right to Councilor Dela Cruz. Yes, Councilor.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I think Mr. Bonet has the experience to guide us, the personnel committee, to choose the best member. He has done it when we choose the city attorney, and the way and the methodologies that he uses is very effective for you to pick the person and not to take, not to, even that we don't know the person, even that we don't know who it is, the way that Mr. Bonet will guide us, it will take us to the most closest person that we are looking for. Then I believe in Mr. Bonet, and I believe in the way that he create a system that it will light up us, the city council, to pick the best that we can. Then hopefully we're gonna get somebody through Mr. Bonet. It doesn't matter how many people we ended up having at the end. We're gonna pick the best 5 that suit the needs of our community. We have to think about what is needed in our community. And I trust Mr. Bonet 100% that he will help us through the whole process. We will be able to do what we need to do at the end. That is to pick somebody that is going to be doing the job for the city. Then thank you for the opportunity.
Council President.
Mr. Gonzalez. Yes, sir.
Like Mr. Abdul said, that 5 is okay, but I heard about Mr. Payano. 12, I think it's too many, but I would like to be in a half, 6.
Okay.
If it's possible.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. At this point, we're taking recommendations and suggestions. We're all in this together kind of thing. I think, Mr. Bonet, I think that you've heard from our colleagues here. I think, somebody talked about 5, somebody talked about 6. 6 probably works, right? I mean, it's not that different from 5. Mr. Abdu was talking about a tiebreaker anyway. So, I mean, it's not unreasonable, I don't think, to send that. I'm going to refer ultimately this down to the Personnel Committee. I'm looking forward to seeing the work that the Personnel Committee does. I think you're going to send 6 of them certified, and you're going to work with the committee hand in hand. And like Ms. Dela Cruz says, you got a lot of experience, and I think that partnership is going to put us in a very good place. So I thank you, and I think we're going to be fine.
Thank you for the council's confidence.
I don't think there's really anything else. Last second, if not, we're going to move on. Thank you, Mr. Bonet. We do appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the other side. Enjoy the rest of your vacation. All right. Thank you. Now, public hearings. The first document is document number 23219. It's a handicap parking at 43 Cambridge Street. Clerk, will you please read the public hearing notice?
Okay. Thank you, Council President. This notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. The public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinance of the City of Lawrence, to be further amended by adding the following new paragraph to section 10.36.340 of the municipal code, handicapped parking, to be inserted in proper alphabetical order. Cambridge Street, south side from a point 121 feet easterly of the intersection of Winthrop Street to a point 141 feet easterly to the intersection of Winthrop Street. To the extent that there exist any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you very much. The public hearing is now open. If you wish to speak, use on your Zoom thing the waving the hand wave feature. I think that should work for you on this matter, 23919. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on this matter? Just wave on the Zoom feature. Not seeing anybody waving. The public hearing is now over. Council, what is your pleasure? Is there a motion?
Motion?
Motion to send, motion to approve, Councilor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Vice President Stella Reyes. Noted. Councilor Rodriguez. Councilor Rodriguez. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Pagano.
Yes.
Councilor Abdul.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The motion carries. The next document is document number 17820, handicap parking at 106 Farley Street, put on the city council agenda by Councilor David Abdu. Will the clerk please read the public hearing notice?
Be it ordained that the city council of the city of Lawrence, that the revised ordinances of the city are hereby further amended by adding the following new paragraph to section 10.36.340 of the municipal code, handicapped parking, to be inserted in the proper alphabetical order. Farley Street, south side from a point 128 feet easterly of the intersection of Davis Street to a point 148 feet easterly of the intersection of Davis Street. To the extent there exists any ordinances to the contrary, they're hereby repealed in that respect only.
The public hearing now is open. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on this matter? If there is, please just notify me with the wave of these on the Zoom feature. I am not seeing anybody looking to speak on this matter, so I will call the public hearing closed. Councilors, what is your pleasure?
Proof.
Mr.
Is there a
President,
motion?
make a motion to approve
Second,
and waive.
There's a motion to approve document
Make
number
a motion
17820
to
and waive the 30 days, and it was
waive the
seconded by
30 days.
Councilor Maria Dela Cruz. Got it. Any discussion on that matter? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll. And this is also to include the emergency preamble.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes. Noted. Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The motion carries. Document number 18020, the handicap parking at 25 Durham Street, put on the city council agenda by Councilor David Abdu. The clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence, to be further amended by adding the following new paragraph to section 10.36.340 of the Municipal Code, handicapped parking, to be inserted in the proper alphabetical order. Durham Street, north side, from a point 286 feet easterly to the intersection of Newton Street to a point 304 feet easterly to the intersection of Newton Street. To the extent that there exists any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Public hearing is now open. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on this matter? Please, in the Zoom chat room or to the Zoom system, just raise your hand so I can identify you. Not seeing anyone raising hand wishing to speak on this matter. The public hearing is now closed. Councilors, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Maria Dela Cruz, seconded by Councilor Jorge Gonzalez.
Discussion,
Hearing
Mr.
none- Councilor Abdu, I see your hand raised.
Yes, thank you. I would ask the author if she would accept a friendly amendment to waive the 30 days.
Second.
Councilor Dela Cruz, do you wish that as a friendly amendment to waive the 30 days?
Yes, yes.
The motion, the friendly amendment is accepted, Councilor Abdu. Any other comments?
No, thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, the motion, please call the roll. This is a motion to approve with the emergency preamble, the forego to 30 days.
Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes. Noted. Councilor Rodriguez. Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes,
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes in the affirmative. Yes. The motion carries. The next item is document number 22720, the Singularless Wireless application at 12 Beacon Ave, put on by Kelly Sanders, who's site acquisition specialist, presumably for Singular Wireless. The public hearing is now, first of all, will the clerk please read the public hearing notice?
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will host a public hearing on Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with the public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning a petition for authorized agent, New Singular Wireless, PCS LLC, Friends AT&T, and Friends 50 Katuitt Road, Suites 13 and 14, Framingham, Mass. 01701, requesting the City of Lawrence, Mass. By and through its City Council members for permission to attach, maintain, and operate small cell communications equipment as follows. At a location on a Singular Wireless small cell facility at pole number 1-15 near 12 Beacon Avenue. The description provided herein is a summary of the location of the work to be performed, the equipment to be installed, and the purpose as presented by the petitioner, and is to be considered notice for the public hearing scheduled before the Lawrence City Council on the date and time provided above. Further notice has been sent to abutters, appearing on a list of abutters provided by the city assessor for the city of Lawrence for use by the office of the city clerk, sending notice by first-class mail, postage prepaid in advance of the public hearing. A copy of the petition and all documents filed on behalf of the petitioner are available for examination, viewing, in a copy of the office of the Lawrence City Clerk, 200 Common Street, Lawrence, Mass., any business day during the hours of 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. and are also available at the City Council public hearing website. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
The public hearing is now open. Members of the public who wish to speak on this, please raise your hand. The first person I see is Mr. Ed Pear. You're being unmuted, Mr. Pear. Go right ahead.
Good evening, Mr. President. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Edward Parry. It's P-A-R-E. I'm an attorney at Brown Rudnick. I'm here representing New Singular Wireless PCS LLC. For the record, my address is 1 Financial Center, Boston, Massachusetts. I've appeared before the council on numerous occasions with respect to these small cell facilities. These are
Thank you.
wireless installations to provide the capacity for the AT&T network. We've been able to utilize existing utility poles, and in this instance, an existing utility pole near 12 Beacon Avenue. We'll be putting a small extension, a 3-foot, 6-inch extension to the top of the pole, and then adding the 2-foot canister antenna. These are very similar to the other installations that we have done throughout the city to provide cutting-edge service for AT&T. We did go to the ordinance committee and receive their recommendation of approval and for the scheduling of this public hearing. The installation will require an equipment box so that the equipment is not visible, radio equipment itself. The installation is in full compliance with all emission standards. It will be installed pursuant to all applicable building codes. With that, I know the City Council has seen a number of these applications. I'd reserve the rest of any comments and be happy to answer any questions of any of the councilors or members of the public. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Is there any other members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? Just use the wave feature. I see that Councilor De La Cruz, you have your hand. Do you want to be a part of the public hearing right here, or do you want to speak as a city councilor when it's the turn for the vote?
No, I want to speak on behalf of the community now.
Right now, Councilor De La Cruz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council President. I have a question for Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly, yes. My question is, are you open any hole on the ground?
I don't believe we're doing anything on the ground. The utilities will come, it looks like overhead. There's already fiber at the pole and it runs up the side of the pole I can see on the plans. So I don't believe we'll be doing any street opening, if that's the question. We're not replacing the pole, so we're just using the existing pole.
Okay, because lately I'm hearing complaints about companies making holes after we have paved the ground. And when they paving, the material that they're using is not good quality as the one that we have. Then thank you for letting me know that this time it's not gonna be a hole on the ground. But for future reference, I hope that there is a plan to change the material that is being used to pave our city, because people are complaining about holes being made through those little holes that are being made in the city. Then thank you very much for the answer.
And may I also offer, if there are any issues whatsoever, you have my name, my email address, and my telephone number. If there are any issues with respect to any AT&T installations, please don't hesitate.
Okay, thank
you. Councilors, the public hearing is now closed. I am seeing things on the screen. I'm not sure if anybody else is, or is
What
it
is
just,
it?
I don't know. Is anybody else seeing other things on the screen right now?
Yes.
I saw something different too.
I am going to, at this point, because I'm not sure, Mr. Mali. I see Mr. Mali. Mr. Mali, would you please, I don't know how that happened. Mr. Mali, where are
He's
you?
not watching anymore.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get rid of that, and then we can try to get back here. There we go. All right, sorry about that. Good to know. The public hearing is now closed. Councilors, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor De La Cruz and seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Just as a reminder, councilors, when we have the public hearing, let's have the public speak, and then we can certainly engage in the conversation once the public hearing is open. We'll have plenty of time to do that. Motion's been made. It's been seconded. Any further discussion on this matter? Here, oh, here we go. Sorry, Mr. Piano. I see you right now. Roll call vote.
Councilor Levy,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes. Noted. And Councilor President LaPlante.
Yes. The motion carries. The next item for the public hearing is document 22920. This is a library literacy coordinator put on the city council agenda by personnel director Frank Bonet. Will the clerk please read the public hearing notice?
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with the public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence to be further amended by adding the following new ordinance 2.44.200 Literacy Coordinator Library. Sub A, position established, appointment and duties. There is established in the Department of the Public Library the position of Literacy Coordinator to be appointed by the Board of Trustees of the Public Library. Under the general supervision of the Library Director, the Literacy Coordinator shall perform all duties assigned by the Library Director, and in addition thereto shall be responsible for the research of the literacy programs in the city, as well as best practices in the field of literacy development. The Literacy Coordinator's duties shall also include the recruitment and management of a volunteer base to staff the programs once developed, as well as the collection development for literacy materials for patrons' circulation. The Literacy Coordinator shall serve pursuant to a written contract to be executed by the mayor prior to the commencement of employment. Said contract shall be for a specific term of years, not to exceed 3 years, and may be renewed or extended at the discretion of the mayor for successive terms not to exceed 3 years. Sub B is qualifications. The literacy coordinator shall have either a bachelor's of art in education, social work, public administration, or a related field, and 3 to 5 years of work experience or a part-time equivalent in the coordination of adult or family literacy programs, or 8 years of professional or paraprofessional work experience or its part-time equivalent in education, social work, public administration, or a related field, 6 months of which must be in the coordination of adults or family literacy programs, or an equivalent combination as defined by the limits of sections 1 and 2. The salary of the literacy coordinator shall be within the grade 3 job group range of the Bennett and Associate salary scale. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on this matter? If so, please use your hand waving feature on the Zoom. Not seeing anybody looking to speak on this matter, the public hearing is now closed. Is there any city councilor wishing to make a motion at this point?
Mr. Council President, I'd like to make a motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
I see Councilor Payano making a motion to approve, I believe, and also eliminated 30 days. I also see Councilor Selena Reyes seconded that motion. Any discussion on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes. Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Pagano.
Yes.
Councilor Abdul.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The motion carries. Document number 25320, handicap parking deletion 86 South Broadway, put on the city council agenda by Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence, to be further amended by deleting the following paragraph, section 10.36.340 of the Municipal Code, handicapped parking. Carver Street, east side from a point 125 feet northerly of the intersection of Salem Street to a point 145 feet northerly of the intersection of Salem Street. To the extent that there exists any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed and that only persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
The public hearing is now open on this matter. Members of the public who wish to speak, please, on your Zoom, please use the hand waving feature to notify that you wish to speak. Not seeing any members of the public wishing to speak on this matter. The public hearing now. Councilors, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Anna Levy, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Is there a discussion? Hearing none, clerk, will you please read the roll?
Councilor Anna Levy.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Abdul.
Present.
Councilor Pagano.
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Council Vice President Reyes. Noted. And Council President LaPlante.
Yes, will the clerk please tally the roll? Please tally that roll call vote.
Do you want me to give you that?
Yes, someone from the clerk's office, please provide the tally on that. How many?
I had 6 voting yes, 1 voting present, and 2 members absent.
Very good. The motion carries. Next, nothing under appropriation orders and resolutions, nothing under committee reports, any of the committee reports. We do have old business, a disposition declaration of 105, 109 Springfield Street. That is going to go to the Housing Committee. Is there anybody who wishes to take anything out of table matters? Hearing none, we will continue. Under new business, document number 3-21, handicap parking at 77 Shawshene Road. That is going to the Ordinance Committee. Document number 421, handicap parking at 139 May Street, is going to the Ordinance Committee. Document number 521, replace a 2-hour parking with 1-hour parking at 66 Brookfield Street, put on the City Council agenda by Councilor Abdu. That is going to the Ordinance Committee. Document 621, surplus declaration at 80 to 82 Cross Street. That is going to the Housing Committee. Document number 721, surplus declaration of Genesee Street. That is going to the Housing Committee. Document number 821, surplus declaration of Doyle Street. That is going to the Housing Committee. Document 921, 2 no parking signs at 168 Newberry Street. That is going to the Ordinance Committee. And document 1021, permanent city clerk position put on by the council president, by the chair, that is going to the Personnel Committee. I know that the councilor, chairwoman and vice president Stella Reyes is not present with us right now, but she has informed me that she is looking to have an ordinance committee meeting on January the 26th. We also have, I think we've already established, a personnel committee meeting on the 25th. There is no new business under the Budget and Finance Committee, so the Budget and Finance Committee will not be meeting. The Housing Committee, who is the vice chair of the Housing Committee, seeing that the chair is not with us at this point?
I am. So since personnel is meeting on the 25th, members of the Housing Committee, are you available on the 27th? Next Wednesday.
Members of the Housing Committee, are you available to be
Yes.
there?
And Councilor Plant, you used to be in the Housing Committee. I don't know if you still are. Are you?
I am not on the Housing Committee starting at this particular meeting. And I believe that is, I think Councilor Selena Reyes will be taking over
Perfect.
from my position. So you actually are stepping up with talent on that committee. So this is a good thing for the committee. The
Well, welcome, Councilor Reyes. Councilor Reyes, will you be able to make it on Wednesday?
At 7?
7 p.m. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, perfect. And that's our meeting.
Any Public Safety Committee meetings coming up?
Nope.
Okay. And I do want to make just a quick mention about the charter review, since I see you, Councilor, Mr. Chairman Payano. I know that we really want to move on this issue, and I know that there's meeting on the 26th. I do expect that there will be an opportunity for you, Council Chairman, to give the charter review recommendations to the committee so that they can hear firsthand and answer any questions that they may have regarding the great work, I think, and the hard work that you spearheaded for all of 2020, quite frankly. So I'm looking forward to seeing a tremendous discussion, and then hopefully we can move that out and have that public hearing in. And I know that we're going to have it tight. I don't think we're going to be able to get on the 2nd. I think we got more things going on now, as we already discussed earlier this evening on the 2nd, but soon thereafter, perhaps a meeting right after that. So we have plenty of time for a public notice requirement, so we can publish it in the local newspaper. So thank you again, Mr. Payano. That is it for the for the schedule. I also wanted to alert my colleagues before I look for a motion to adjourn. Before that, the council, the mayor, I sent an email to all of us, making us aware that our DPW director has sent his resignation to us, and has asked me to find an individual from the city council to work on the search committee. I do want to just take a quick moment of privilege to thank Mr. Pena. I know he's going to be working hard to the very end. I talked to him briefly today, and he is not going to let up until his last day. But what I'm asking of the members here is, if any of you are looking to serve on this committee, please notify me. Send me an email, send me a text, call me. Let me know that you're willing to serve. I have to put one, and of course, I will probably pick it on the basis of the level of seniority. If you're more senior, I'm probably going to select you. But if you have an interest, I don't want to pick someone who doesn't want to do it. So please, it's another opportunity to serve our city in an important search. Please let me know, preferably by email, of course, text or phone. Just let me know that you're interested, and then I can give a name to the mayor as to who's going to represent us. I see Mr. Abney with his hand raised.
Thank you, Mr. President. To take us back a few moments to the Personnel Committee schedule for the 25th. My understanding is that we landed on as a council that the Personnel Director will send us 5+1 or 5 resumes. Is that correct, Mr. President?
I think that what we agreed upon based on the last recommendation by Mr. Gonzalez is perhaps 6. 6.
Okay. If it would be okay with you, Mr. President, and the members of personnel, we schedule a second. If this council is still interested in moving expeditiously, that possibly we schedule something for the 27th after Mr. Payano's committee. Would personnel members be available on Wednesday, the 27th? Or is that something we want to do as a whole?
Well, we've already met. So the question is will you have a quorum for the 27th for personnel? You'll already start the process on the 25th. I'm sure you want to continue it on the 27th. So the question is, members of the committee, the chair is asking, will you be able on the 27th, 2 days next week?
The 20th.
Okay. So there you go, Mr. Abdu. You've got people willing to be with you on the 25th and on the 27th. I don't suspect that housing committee, I don't think, Mr. Payano, would be very long. I just think we have a few items. I don't know, but what time is your meeting? What time is your meeting, Mr. Payano?
So we said 7 p.m.
Okay.
So I would say I don't know about the surplus decorations. The one item that's old business, I don't see that taking up a lot of time. The other items, I can't speak for them.
Got it. Does that help, Mr. Abdu, Mr. Chairman?
Again, if it's okay with the members of the Personnel Committee, it would be fine with me just to write, to immediately follow Housing Committee.
Yes, Mr.
Let's pick a tentative time of 8 o'clock. Will that work? Just tentatively? Do you think that would give enough time for the Housing Committee to do it? It may be a little less, maybe a little bit more.
So Council President and Chairman Abdu, just based on previous experience in the Housing Committee, I think it's very rare that we last 1 hour, for the entire committee, and especially seeing that there is going to be 4 items of discussion. I would err on the side of caution that it would take an hour and a half, maybe more. I don't know. So
Can we have, Council President, can we have the meeting at 6:30?
It's really up to the committees, as long as their schedule allows for it. I'm not going to get involved in what the committee wants. So if the Housing Committee wishes to perhaps provide a little leniency here and start at 6:30, that might get them to 8 o'clock for the other one.
So I'm definitely willing. I'm not willing. I'm able to do that. I'm also willing, but I'm able to do that. I don't want, if any other members are not able, I just want to make sure that it's not because they're not willing. So Councilor Levy and Councilor Reyes, are you able to meet 6:30 instead of 7?
Yes.
How about yourself, Councilor Reyes?
have another meeting at 6:30, but I can try to change it.
Okay. So we will put 6:30, knowing that it potentially we might not have quorum until 7 p.m.
So there you go. So listening to that, 8 o'clock for the personnel as a start date, and of course that could vary, right? So are we all on board on that by the chairmans, Mr. Abdu, Mr. Piano? Okay. One final thing before we adjourn this evening, one of the commitments I'm looking to make to try to make our membership to improve it, if I can move that needle, is I really want to see us start our meeting on time. And I'm making a commitment to all of you that I'm going to do my best to make myself available at the beginning of that meeting. So if you're short a member, that I can be there to at least begin that meeting. I think that's a courtesy to the other committee members. It's a courtesy to the chair. It's a courtesy to the members of the public who are either watching or who may wish to speak, and department heads and such who are given the presentation. So I'm going to do my very best to do that. I will also ask a couple things. One, and I will ask that chairs, if you are having a hard time meeting quorum, let me know that as a courtesy to me, so that I know whether or not I'm going to have to go for the long haul or if it's just going to be a short amount of time. Please do me that courtesy. Members of each committee, please let your chair know whether or not you're going to be late, if you're not going to make it, just to make this process work a little more smoothly. Just open the lines of communication and just be just work and we all work together and know where we are, and we all got busy lives, but that would be helpful. And I'm going to do my best to do that. If and the last thing is, we do have vice chairs. As a courtesy to other members, my suspicion is that if there's a quorum available, I certainly will wait a few minutes for the chair to show up. But if all is going well, that shouldn't take long, because I'll be notified and the vice chair will then be notified. But we will, we'll, as a courtesy to people who are either watching or participating or serving, the vice chair may be asked to call in some rare circumstances when the chair, for whatever reason, is unable to be there. So the goal here, of course, is to, and I think we're all on the same page, is just to work together as best we can and try to be timely in the way that we're doing business. And I think we all agree on that. So I want to thank you all. I know it was a tough meeting in the beginning. Thank you so much for plowing, working through. The best part of us is sometimes we don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we're all supposed to be doing this for the one same reason, to make our city better, and we're all on that same page. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Piano, seconded by
Council
Mr. Abby. Discussion?
Council President, before closing.
Discussion, Councilor De La Cruz, discussion. Yes, ma'am.
Don't forget, everybody, that we celebrated Martin Luther King Day yesterday, and his dream should be our dream. Thank you.
On that note, Councilor De La Cruz, that was outstanding. I will now ask the clerk to call the roll. Thank you.
Councilor President Estela Reyes. Noted. Councilor Rodriguez. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Pagano.
Yes.
Councilor Abdul.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The chair votes in the affirmative. Thank you, everybody. Salute, and we will see each other soon. Thank you for all your work tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It
Good job.
was a pleasure, everybody.
Good job, Council President.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good
Good job,
Bye-bye.
Councilor Gonzalez. All right. Love fest.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.